In part B, we're going to look at f of x equals negative x squared plus 6x. And you should notice immediately that the constant is already 0. So we can add a plus 0 at the end if we want. However, in order for complete the square to work properly, you need the leading coefficient, which is the a value, to just be positive 1. In this case, a is negative 1. So to get around that, we are going to force negative 1 to be factored out. So in other words, f of x is going to be negative 1 times x squared minus 6x. So when you factor out the negative 1, it changes the sign of all the terms. So we're going to attempt to do complete the square right here on the inside of the parentheses with x squared minus 6x. That's where we want to do the complete the square process. So that's where we add the plus 0, not at the beginning. So f of x will be negative x squared minus 6x plus 0, close parenthesis. And for the creative 0, I'm going to take this b value. You always want to take the b value of where you're trying to do the complete the square. You would not want to do this with the original plus 6. You'd want to do this with the negative 6 that we have there at this step where the plus 0 is. So we'll take negative 6, divide it by 2, square it. So that's going to be negative 3 squared, which will end up resulting in positive 9. So for our creative 0, we are going to use plus 9 and minus 9. Plus 9, minus 9, close parenthesis. And every time I do this creative 0, I want to group together these first 3 terms because that's now going to represent my perfect square trinomial. So f of x is going to equal negative parenthesis. So for the part that's in red, the parentheses in red, that is going to factor into x minus 3 squared. Minus 9 is still there, left over from the creative 0, and then I close that final parenthesis. Now, I have to take my negative and I need to redistribute it. Inside of the big parenthesis, there's only 2 terms, here and here. The coefficient for the first term is going to be 1. The second term is just a constant of negative 9. So I'm going to do my distribution with those values. That's going to mean f of x is negative 1 times x minus 3 squared. And then I have the plus 9 there at the end. And that takes us directly into vertex form.